We're with Tom Watabiki after Gravesend Regional top 16 with BA. Take it away.
It's BA, so it's 3 Graph, 3 Scam, 3 Seer, 3 Rubik. People are cutting this to 2, or I don't understand why. Like Virgil's like just ridiculously important, and 3 is just so mandatory still. 3 Libic. This is one of the ones that people don't seem to be running like 3 of, which is really weird, because it's the one that actually, apart from these ones, it helps you advance your game state, and turn 1 is like so crucial, especially with how Farfa's now been released. So you want to create as much advantage turn 1 as you can, and this helps you just make it so that your board's just ridiculously strong from turn 1. 2 Calcab, I still think Calcab's just ridiculous. 2 Farfa, this card's... I don't like it because it's obviously ridiculously good, but it creates a lot more problems than it solves. It basically means that like if your opponent opens up double Dante, they can still OTK you because they can mill this, and then they can just Virgil and then still do 8,000, which is just crazy. 1 Alec because negation's really good. 3 Tour Guide obviously. 3 Maxi because the mirror match is the most important matchup that you should be worrying about, because Clifford's supposed to be a really easy matchup, which is why like you dedicate to the mirror, because every game matters in the mirror match. So Maxi at 3 in the main is something I decided, and then BLS because BLS wins. It's just a win button. Beginning of the end, this is another win button. I was tempted to play more than one because of how you can go through everything, especially with the 5 new Burning Abyss, or the new Burning Abyss monsters, so you can go through everything much faster. I just really don't like the idea of opening up multiple of these, so for this event anyway, I didn't. Soul Charge, it's just ridiculous, and can just make ridiculous boards, and can just win you the game. I don't understand why people cut this. Like people say, like you play this, and then they don't like it when it wins you a lot of games. Double Hidden Armory with Stat Steal. I would play 3 Hidden Armories, but Farfa makes it so Hidden Armory just isn't as good, because they can just, especially in the mirror match, because you Stat Steal their guy, they banish the Stat Steal guy, and then they get it back. So with that in mind, I main 2 Econ, so that isn't as big of a threat, plus it's also just ridiculously good in the mirror as well. Then 3 Upstarts, I had to give one of them back, but I did play 3 Upstart Goblins. And then a Foolish Burial. And then I only played 2 Trap cards, and that's 2 Fire Lakes. Like people, the idea was at first that I would play 3 because this is all you really need against Clifford, because it's just an instant blowout. But it's just so bad against like everything else. It's bad against the mirror match, and it's not very good against Shadow. Like you can do it against the Shadow Fusion.
Fuck away the pussy!
But you just like don't. It just doesn't achieve much at all. Plus, Wing Blast sucks. Karma Cut sucks because they literally, when you do it to like Xyz monsters or even Virgil, they replace themselves, and on top of that, most of the cards you get off them are free. So this is literally just to blow out the Clifford, and that's really it. Then 2 Virgil, 3 Dante, 2 Downard, Alucard, Triage Levier, Giga Brilliant, Zen Mains, Acid Golem, Nightmare Shark. They're like the standard ones, like they were used beforehand anyway. This was used by some people beforehand. Basically, you just use this for like as a beta that just can't get puppet planted. So then you can just still create a lot of pressure. And then this is a good one because this with Virgil now means that if you have this with a Graph or a Farfa, when they make their Virgil to out the when they make their Virgil to out your Virgil, you can detach the Graph or the Farfa. So if you detach Farfa, you just banish their Virgil. And if you detach Graph, you special summon Farfa. Farfa kills itself because of Antonis on board. So that banishes the Virgil. So then on your next turn, you can then Virgil their Virgil. But most of that's just standard anyway. Then 3 Vanity Fiends. I didn't like up until the new cards came out, I didn't really like this because I didn't like the idea of playing it and then them stat stealing my guy. But Farfar makes it so that this card's more playable because you can then just Farfar banish this, then you get it back in your turn, and then you're just at a great position again because this card just ruins shadows. Don't like playing this against Burning Abyss still because like if they just wing blast you, or then you just are in such a bad position. It's not funny. Side this against Cliff Fort, so that I can have easier access to Fire Lake. Kind of sucks that you have to waste a Dante on it, but Fire Lake just wins you the game. So 2D fusion. This wasn't that great in my opinion. I don't know what I'm gonna side against Shadow. I mean, it's kind of cool, but like, it's one of those cards where you're just gonna want to have to. You don't really want to set it, especially in this, because MST is like so dead, and a lot of people are just retarded and don't realize that I don't really run any trap cards. So they keep their MSTs in, and they're like really dead a lot of the time. So I don't want to set this. But along with this, Denko Seka makes this card like, so it's set, and then they Denko Seka, and I'm like, well, this card's dead now. So you want to keep it in hand, but then the problem with that is then like they're just going to OTK you a lot of the time anyway. So 3rd Econ for the mirror match, 3 MST basically for Cliff Fort. I don't main MST because 1-for-1ing is terrible, and you basically, especially in this deck, you're using your monsters just to like get past back row and just win the game. Like your Cliff Fort matchup is fine as it is, and this is only really main for Cliff Fort. Like it sucks against BA and it sucks against Shadow because most of, like, I don't really want to MST like on, like, you can do it turn 1, but like apart from that, there's gonna be a lot of scenarios where this card's just gonna be dead and you're just gonna have to set it. And especially with like how I play the deck, I'd rather just give them a lot of dead MSTs. The Raigeki for decks that suck basically because they don't replace themselves. 2 needle ceilings because it outs Ojama Trio, and it's just more like, it's more Raigekis but in trap forms. That's kind of cool. And then 2 Ojama Trio because that can wreck the mirror match.
So is there anything you change at all?
The 2D fusions probably. I don't know. Like, I don't want to. I was thinking about siding non-fusion area, but I just don't like the idea of floodgate cards because then they're going to be on this spell and trap card zone, so I can't trust them and Burning Abyss monsters.
Right.
So I guess I don't know really.
Alright, thanks a lot.
Cheers.